Hello and welcome to a special edition of Burning Questions. Breeders' Crown Finals on Saturday night, and we're at the stables, the gymnasium, something, of Clayton, Tonkin and Emma Stewart. Tell us where we are, Clayton.
We're in where we've got our water walker, treadmills and walker, and it's a bit of a work area, but it's pretty flash.
And we've done some work here, like this wasn't also, you don't normally have chairs and couches around here, do you?
Hang on, we've done some work. I've done some work. I'm still cooked from bringing this thing.
Calm down, Timmy. But we have done some work and set up a little office here, but it's a magnificent situation you've got here, isn't it? Like amazing.
Yeah, it's first class, and the horses really benefit from it.
Now, Em, you and Clayton have a happy habit of disagreeing on a lot of subjects, particularly your own horses. Is that going to happen here? Can you predict that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. You've got your favourites. We have to moderate that. And Toc, how's the heart rate going, mate? You did help Clayton with the couch.
Yeah, I'm absolutely.
Clayton seemed to be T-ravelling in the run, and you were in a lot of bother.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a horse that is going bad as me. I'm still huffing and puffing. The heart rate's through the roof, so I don't know if you've got some something to look over me with later on, but I need it, I tell you.
You were going to lap out, mate.
I
was. Sponsors. We have to start with the sponsors. Whether you're celebrating a win or shoveling in the stables, you want your staff to look their very best. None of us are wearing hip pocket workwear, by the way. But anyway, and you do that with uniforms from Hip Pocket Workwear and Safety. They have you covered for clothing, protective equipment, and plenty more. Check out hippocketworkwear.com.au. They might even have something for your heart problems there, Toc. Right, let's get stuck into the burning questions. The first of 8, so we're going to be here for a while. Is the bay we saw fresh up a sign of things to come? We all thought Honolulu Bay was freakish first up from a break. I've already slapped hands with Sam Stewart over this. He's in the Honolulu Bay camp, and Macdan's a likely leader. We'll start with you, Clayton.
Yeah, no, I think he's got the X factor in the race, and I think he's a real horse. So I think Macdan's got the sort of right draw, and he's going to give him definitely something to chase, but I do think the other horse is pretty special.
So if we're looking at the fact that we haven't seen him since his first up run and he hasn't trialled, no issue there at all?
No, we were sort of just trying to time that race, and it was sort of waited for that $50,000 race, and he'll be on song.
I don't know why it is, and it could be an anomaly, but Emma Stewart and Danny Zavitzanos, she seems to love those horses a lot. The ones with Dan in the name. The baby monitor's going off.
That's Danny just calling out.
Are you with Macdan here, Em?
I do personally like Macdan. I think he's going to get the draw, but Honolulu Bay, he's got that X factor about him. He's very fast, and his track work here has been super, so it's hard to go past him, I think.
Are you both with Honolulu Bay then?
Yeah.
I have to say yes.
Okay, I get to back it now. It was 270 and I wanted to back it already, but I needed to come out here first. Toc, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, my thoughts might have changed after hearing Clayton and some of the stable banter when I walked in. He has got high speed, but listening to you guys talk about some of the fractions he can reel off here at your track here, which is an uphill track too, in the run to where you do your fast work. Look, I'm in Macdan's corner. I just like the way he maps, finds the front. I'm a big fan of his. I mean, he's won some really good races. So I'm in his corner. Honolulu Bay, when he raced prior for the Aiken camp, he did let me down a few times when he came up short prices, and I think I'm a bit jaded by that. So I'm going to go with the Macdan camp this time around on Saturday night.
I mentioned in the form comment, he's a little bit like Kanye West. At his very best, he's very good, and at his worst, he's woeful.
Yes.
So hopefully he brings his best. I reckon from what I've seen of him before he came to you guys, he might even be better. He's just as good racing off the speed, Clayton.
Oh yeah, definitely. A horse with that much speed, and I think personally, like you say, when I've seen him used off the gate, he doesn't seem to go as good.
Yeah.
And that just brilliant high speed, I think, he can put himself into the race whenever he needs.
All right. I get to bet first because it's pre-recorded. Yes?
You're on Honolulu Bay?
I'm on Honolulu, big time.
Big time?
I thought $2.70. I think I marked it $2. I couldn't believe what he did first up for this team. Emma Stewart, arguably the most popular human in the world. It's Derek Zoolander stuff at the moment.
Already?
The phone's going wild. Question 2. I know the answer to this already because of what we've chatted about, Em, but can we trust the Touchy girl to bring her Group 1 manners? There might have been a little issue last start. I reckon lost, 70 metres at the start, and it still was a closing third, and the previous run was excellent as well. She's very good.
She's very good, very fast, and she can be a little bit naughty, but she did have a plug come out going up to the gate, so she had an excuse, but she's pretty good.
What's she like here, Clayton?
Yeah, she's a handful in herself, but she trots well. She's a real filly. Like, she'll kick you, bite you, and she's all up and about. But she's good on the track.
Yeah. We agree that if she goes like she can, she should win the race.
For sure.
Yeah, I think she'll be very hard to beat, and personally, I don't think she'll have an issue Saturday night, as long as we don't have any gear malfunctions like last time. But you know, she showed through the Redwood when she was against the boys and that she's high class.
Can't put your hand up anymore, can you?
No.
Just raise our hands.
That's what happened the other day. One of the plugs come out and you can't put your hand up to stop the start, and one of the plugs come out, so we just had to go with it, and she got a fright and gallop.
How are you dealing, Em? I don't think you were that wrapped about the trotters being part of the team. You've got a fair few now. A lot of them are very, very fast, but they can cause you some headaches. How are you dealing now with the trotters?
Yeah, probably not real good.
There was one last night that tested your patience a little bit too.
Oh yeah, he had a few issues going on last night, but yeah, no, I'm okay if they behave themselves. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan at the moment.
Nah, they're rough.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Yeah,
Just a bit touchy?
I can't add much more.
Well, $7, by the way. It opened $7
now,
after the draw. No, it's $2.25 now.
Oh, that's short. Okay, that is short. But look, yeah, I've been wrapped with the horse's performances. Just got that real high speed when sprinting home. The Redwood Classic, as you said, was a fantastic run, and I thought the heat run was just superb. So, Trots wins, I think. All
right, third of our questions today, normally the second, but the third of our questions is brought to us by the Fresh Connection, who export Australian fresh fruit to more than 35 countries, headed up by Damien Glengarry, who is the export manager and does a terrific job. Magnificent job, marvellous job. The Fresh Connection specialise in citrus, table grapes, cherries and mangoes, freshconnection.com.au. Now, you were up at 5 o'clock in the morning for the gym, Clayton. Do you have a mango before you go? Do you grab a couple of bananas?
No.
What's the routine?
No, actually, Emma had a shake made for me when I got home, so she done well. She likes having a bit of
bananas,
a sleep
raspberries.
Yeah, no. Put a bit of protein powder, a bit of creatine. So.
Are you on the same diet from last time? Because you weren't enjoying that meal last time.
No, it lasted 3 days on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Just wasn't working for you.
No, it wasn't.
It was hilarious.
I could almost feel her pain off camera. It sounded like she was.
I can tell you who wasn't. I can tell you who wasn't up at 5 o'clock for the gym, and that was me. You would have seen that. When I was
You've done your gym work now.
Oh, yeah, I tell you what.
Got to create a foundation. We'll talk about arm wrestles later. All right, can the Chubb be softened up, or is he just too good? We'll go to you first, Tok. He's $1.50. I reckon he's $1.20 shot.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you couldn't possibly tip against him, could you? You just couldn't. He's beaten all these horses before, many of them numerous times. He's just a big brute of a thing. You guys would have seen him on the track. Gee, he's a big horse for. I was talking to Pete Manning during the week. He said when he picked him up as a yearling, he looked like a 4-year-old stallion, and he's racing. You know, he's a man against the boys, so couldn't possibly tip against him. I'm not a bloke that's going to go and have 5,000 at $1.30, but you know, I'll take him in trifectas to win and early quaddies and all that sort of stuff. But he'll win.
Yeah, I think he'll win. Clayton, there's a bloke who works at Harness Racing Victoria called Mick Howard. And he's got a memory of you cleaning him up on the footy field when you were both young. But I remember I can actually remember this, under 13s going out there, and there was a bloke who looked like he was 35.
There's always one, every footy club.
And I had to line up on him. But there's always one, isn't there? And Plymouth Chubb's like that. It's like he's a 5-year-old already, and that's why he's dominating. He's just too strong for these horses.
Yeah, you're dead right. He's like one of them kids that had the stubble on the face.
Were you the one that had the stubble on the face?
Yeah, it always helps when you're playing under 18s, under 16s, and that you're a bit more developed.
Yeah. You were the one, I can tell. You didn't answer that question. Em, can Plymouth Chubb be beaten?
I don't think so. I think he's a great trotter, and I don't think anything in that sort of field can sort of test him. So he's been terrific and hasn't put a foot wrong. So yeah, he can't get beat.
I thought during the week, he reminds me a bit of Blitzham Calder. Like, I don't know about his high speed when he gets a bit older, whether he's going to have that high speed, but it's just strength over those young horses.
Yeah, you're right. He is a lot like Blitzham Calder, to be honest, because you know, he's a big, powerful horse as well.
Just absolutely outmuscled them, as Clayton did to Mick Howard and probably many others in his junior football career. Let's move on to the next burning question. Is his class edge so supreme that Wave will beat his gate? Now, it's not the strongest addition to the Breeders' Crown for the baby boys of all time. We'll start with you, Em. You know, outside the draw, and a weird one, because he didn't do anything wrong at the start, he just failed to circle.
Yeah.
I've seen a few fail to circle over the years, and they haven't been outside the draw. But anyway, he's outside the draw. I think he's much better than them, but it's never easy to win a Group 1 race from out there.
No, it's not, and you can do it a little bit wrong. I don't think he's a perfect racehorse yet. I think ability-wise, he's got a bit on this field, so I think he'll still win as long as he behaves himself.
How do you reckon they'll drive him? How do you reckon Kate will drive him, Clay? Because I've got a funny feeling there might be a temptation just to sit back and just sweep him in the last lap.
I personally don't. I think she'll cut him loose and get around and try to bully her way to the front. You've seen at Maryborough, I know they said he tapped the wheels and that, but his sectionals at Maryborough and he just kept striding. I think she'll put it beyond sort of, the hope of coming at the half at Tabcorp Park. I think, he's the best horse in the race and they'll drive him like it. And I think, I personally, I couldn't see anything beating him, seeing going through the series, but he is an odd horse with odd little quirky things where you see last week going down the back, they kick down the pull down slides and you're like, oh, is he done? And then he got going. He's quite strange, but he's got a lot of ability.
I reckon weirdly he's probably better off not being in front almost, because
I don't mind
that's when he switched off and he started to roll around. He's like a drunken seller, just like a big kid, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I just wonder whether he's at the back or just goes to the breeze and dominates them from their top.
Yeah, well, he's $1.80 now. Before we jumped on the show, I just had a look through some of the big bets for the meeting already. Someone's had 20 grand on him already, so somebody thinks he's just about a good thing. It was actually on this show that he almost come to light, this horse, didn't he?
Yeah.
Andy basically was with you, Emma. He
Yep.
declared it as one of his, I can't remember the exact phrase, but one of the best young horses he's laid his hands on. So
Yep.
a few of us got the nice overs that night, and he beat a nice field at Ballarat. But I think he wins. Do I want to take $1.80 about a horse that's got a few tricks and drawn 12? Probably not. But I can't find much to beat him. I mean, he's the Son of a Guns at $5. He's Charlie's Angel, $6. Maybe the one I would have a little each way on, I thought was fantastic in the semis, who sat basically wide the whole last lap, was Flash Jimmy. You can back him each way at $13 and $3, so maybe away from the favourite, maybe Flash Jimmy for me.
He's underrated. There's that old adage, isn't there, with a lot of good horses, if they were trained by Emma Stewart, they'd be a lot shorter in the market. And I reckon Flash
Well,
Jimmy's...
There's one we'll talk about later. I think we both agree.
Yeah, Folklore, Red, Taylor Swift, yeah, we'll talk about that at some point. Question 5 of the burning questions is, this will be interesting, will Act Now demand the front and does that end the race? Clayton, Tonkin, please, take it away.
No, I think he'll definitely demand the front. There's no doubt that she's going to press the button and press it really hard. And I do think if he finds the front, he's definitely going to be very hard to beat. I think Beyond Delight's run in the heat was super, but I know there's been talk of Maddie wanting to hold the front with the 2-horse and that. But I'll be telling her strongly not to sit there quiet like Bendigo. She'll be pressing the button early.
So who do you reckon leads out of the 1 and the 2 for a start? Yeah, Bucky and Better Call Me.
I don't know. It's one of them things. Yam Buckin's a good strong horse, but he's a bit of an awkward going horse. He seems to leave the gate pretty good out wide. I just don't know how he's going to muster on that inside gate. I'm not too concerned what goes on earlier, but I know what I'm doing.
Well, Act Now, I mean, if anything, probably we saw Act Now. It felt like it wasn't quite as dominant. Maybe Beyond Delight made it look not quite as dominant at semi-final level, but the horse I saw sweep the Derby series, if he leads here, I can't see him getting beaten. What do you reckon, Em?
Yeah, I think Beyond Delight made him look not as impressive last week. I think everyone sort of hasn't seen how good that horse is because he's very good. I'm hoping there's a fair bit of speed early because I'm on the Beyond Delight bandwagon.
This is what I like. This is good.
I think he's just got the X factor about him, and if there's plenty of heat on early, which I'm pretty sure there will be, he's the one I'll be on.
And you too,
Yeah,
Todd?
look, that was just what I wanted
I'm
to
just
hear.
putting in your very strange password here to try and get the computer going.
We're
so.
not going to read it out.
No.
You got it?
No, I got it though.
I was big time on Beyond Delight. I've made him one of my best tonight. Just a quick note, we were driving out here before, Bon, and I said there was 5 horses to break 54 seconds in the semi-finals. Beyond Delight was one of them, 53.39 he zipped home in. I just reckon, I don't think Act Now will necessarily just roll to the top. Yeah, Bucky, and I spoke to Andy during the week, he's pretty keen to at least burrow through and hold the top for a period of time. And I think he can too, because in the semis he drew out 7 and he was actually probably a half a length in front there at one point, so I think he's got the speed. I just want a bit of speed on, and I think Beyond Delight's just a great bet at $4.40, so I'm big time in the Beyond Delight camp.
All right, that's 2 and 2. Nice split. Now, I just want to hear this. Is he mature enough to make a move if he needs to in the race? Clayton, first you?
I don't think...
that won't be happening?
I don't think that'll be happening. He's only third. Well, he's only had 3 runs back and we've sort of looked after him. It was a bit like last week with Greg. He said, because he's got so much speed early, he goes, I'm worried because he might just charge through from the second row. I said, just look after him. And I said, don't go knocking him around tonight because the other one was always going to be hard to beat. But I still think he can overcome it. Like, you see them sectionals last week, he went 53.8. and he didn't pull the plugs, and he hit the line hard. He can still overcome it. He's a brilliant horse, but I don't think he's at that stage where you could sit outside a horse like Acnea.
You agree, Em?
Yeah, I agree, but I think there's going to be a couple of horses go in front of him, so I think he's going to have the perfect trailer.
Is Major Moth going to make a move in the race?
He could.
Yeah,
he's fit enough.
Yeah,
he's
he could
definitely fit enough.
if he wanted him to.
Can Major Moth beat those other two?
When Major Moth's 100%, I definitely think he can. I think he's on the way up, but I don't think he's 100% at the minute.
Yep. I definitely agree. I think only one of the two will win. I reckon the lead time in the first quarter is going to basically decide who wins the race.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. You know, this seems stupid, but sometimes you just visualise races, and that's just one I've got in my mind of the speed on early, you know, a bit happening up front, and then he just comes with one run with a trail. I can see it happening.
Just remember this, you two. As good as Beyond Delight was, and as fast as he went, as soon as he got near Acnea just said, I'm going to hold you.
Yeah, I know.
And I reckon
He
he'll
does do
again.
that.
I reckon he'll
Let's
do it.
talk it about what
He is a
9
great
o'clock
racehorse like that, and
tonight.
Joe didn't pull the plug. Last week.
He's got a bit of
Pretty
mean
fine.
streak in him as well, I reckon.
Yeah.
I think if they... Beyond Delight might zip up, but if Acnea's in front, he'll just say, no thanks, mate. Maybe in 12 months he could beat me, not
Yeah,
tonight.
back in needs to play the game, and we're half a chance, I reckon.
We'll talk to Andy. Right, question 6 of the Burning Questions brought to you by another fruit company, Felvo Fruits. Specialists in table grapes, which are the ones that aren't made into wine, I've found out. Since the 1960s, I prefer the wine ones. Michael and Josie Felvo are keeping the tradition going, and everyone loves their table grapes. Keep an eye out for Felvo Fruits. You know you'll love them. All right, let's get stuck in. As Australia's finest filly racing at her best, I have a strong opinion, Em. I've actually tipped Ladies in Red to win an amazing 3-year-old fillies final, but I am personally, unless you can convince me otherwise, near enough to certain, that what we've seen in the last 2 runs is not what we saw in the Vic Oaks final.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think her runs have been terrific, but I don't think she's been her dominant self, and I think a better twist is a great filly, and I think it's sort of... it's evened the field up a little bit. She's going terrific, don't get me wrong, and her sectionals and times have been great, but at this stage she doesn't look as dominant.
The more I think about it, I'm again visualising the race. Geez, we're trot nerds, aren't we?
Yeah.
But you've got Beach Music in front, Better Twist is outside the leader, and the only way that Beach Music can go here is just to go just 28s on tilt from that point. Your favourite Tough Tilly, 3 poles is a perfect position to be in that situation. Is she going well enough to win if she gets clear air?
If she behaves herself, yes. Being on the fence is a little concern.
Yeah.
She can be a little bit naughty.
Okay.
But I think Answer's got a very tough drive. Like, he's got to not let Beach Music get away with 2 easy quarters, but he can't press her too much because the better ones are drawn back in the field. So I don't envy his job this week.
I agree with you. Clayton, I reckon if Better Twist does sit parked outside this group of fillies and win, it'll be one of the greatest Breeders' Crown wins of all time.
Yeah, I agree with you there, and I think they're just going to smash the clock.
They are going to obliterate it.
Yeah, they're just going to. I think, you know, I seen a post that he said, "Oh, we'll have war on by the mile or something," and I'm thinking to myself,
You won't be able to
But
create a
before
war
then-
because the war will already have started.
the war had already started from the start. That's one thing our filly loves to do is just freewheel and just run, and that's her best chance of winning. And if she gets beat, or you know, Ladies in Red gets over the top of them, so be it. But it's going to be an awesome race, and it's just going to be action-packed, I think.
It cannot live up to expectations the way the draws have gone. Your tip in the race?
Ladies in Red.
Em?
I'm going to go Joanna.
I reckon Joanna can win as well. If Ladies in Red has to go late and Joanna's on the back of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Talk?
Ladies in Red, it's, as you said, this would be one of the most exciting races. I reckon. I've been at HRV for a year, and this would be the race for me. I can just see Ladies in Red, you know, being the big beneficiary of that early speed battle, because one thing's for sure, that's going to come. So I don't think she's racing at her Oaks best, but I reckon it's only a couple of % below, and I reckon that's good enough. A horse, so I want to back Ladies in Red to win. I just think there's a silly place bet involved here, and Tay is going super. Albie, he might be.
If it was trained by Emma Stewart,
well,
what price
that's
would it
right.
be?
We were saying it was $126 last night. I think you might have said something like $12 might have been the price if Emma trained it, but maybe not that much. But certainly,
Well bred too.
Yeah.
Struve's half sister.
Yes. Well, obviously, yeah.
So that's been burning question for now. We'll keep going. We've got a couple of questions to
But
go.
Albie's going to inject some speed too, potentially, in this as well. We know what sort of driver he is, and she's been fantastic. She was one of those 5 horses to break the 54 in the semis, and the heat run was just as good too. So just a horse, maybe you throw it in your first 4s, because there's going to be jackpots, I think, too. So that's one of the odds for you.
They're actually pretty similar, aren't they? Like
Yeah.
high speed, carry their head pretty high and all the rest of it. So they're pretty similar, these two.
Yep.
And I can see something weird happening at the start. So do you reckon Beach Music showed more gate speed than we've seen from her before ever, which killed me because I thought Joanna was getting straight across.
Yeah.
But anyway, we move forward from that.
So do I.
Will Beach Music get this lead real easy, or will a couple out? Well, will Treachery have a crack? Does Tay Tay have a crack?
I think it'll be interesting early. The biggest thing is what I think they're just going to have to see how the gate leaves it, because you know yourself, if horses like Tay Tay and that go forward and then the speed's right on, it might bring them really unstuck. It's all right following speed, but then all of a sudden if you use them off the gate and then you've got to follow speed, it's a total different thing. So I just think, if I was training that horse, they're the sort of things you've got to be a little bit concerned about. Yourself, they can follow speed in heats and all that sort of stuff and run great sectionals, but it's a different when you've got to work the gate as well.
100%, and that's kind of the beyond delight question.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you've basically declared we're not going to make a move, because we know that he's very, very fast, but that's no guarantee that he can do work in a race at this point. I'll tell you who will be really interesting doing early work maybe. Sounds perfect. Now, hey, I found her on
Perfect
debut.
segue, yeah.
I found her on debut. It was a massive performance, huge. Started $51 somehow. No text messages going around, no group chats, but Clayton, the 2 runs have been amazing and different. Tough week 1 on the heat, incredibly fast week 2, gets the barrier draw, they open her 220, but nobody knows whether she's got gate speed except maybe you two.
Yeah, I don't think we know either.
No, we don't know.
I think she definitely will have gate speed, and I think she's versatile because she's just such a great filly. I think it'll be interesting to see her get used off the gate and see if that affects her a little bit against horses like Penalante and that, because I'm sure if she does get used up early and then all of a sudden they go to come up for air, the other one, or even Purden's one, might make a move, Penalante might make a move, and then all of a sudden it's a bit like what I said to you earlier, just with the other ones, when you use them off the gate and then all of a sudden the pressure stays on. Is she mentally strong enough to cop that? I think she physically is, and it'll be a great thing if she can do it. But she's got all the attributes of being a really good horse.
Who's the best chance of betting her?
I think it's a tricky race. If you had asked me early in the series, I would have said Encipher.
Yeah, me too.
But she's just had some tough runs, and she's been exposed every time, and I think if she sucks along the fence this week and stays fence and looks for luck and they go crazy, I think she's definitely a real hot race, a real hot hope.
I'll be honest with you, I won't back Sounds Perfect now because it's too much. I think she'll end up maybe being the best one in it, and her runs have been amazing, but I am concerned. I'm sure both of you, we're going into the unknown, aren't we, Em? So
yeah, exactly.
You don't know what's going to happen. Who do you think's the best chance of winning the race? I think we all think that Rich Beauty's been underrated. If they go berserk, she's massive odds.
And she's super quick as well, so she needs the speed on, and if she can get a good card into it, she's definitely a winning hope. Fly.
Like a Seinfeld episode. Remember when George
couldn't script that.
What's going to happen?
You could not script that.
You just opened the mouth at the right time.
I did,
it was a bit,
straight in. So,
Burning questions, people.
Yeah, so there you go. So Rich Beauty, I think she can win. I do think Sounds Perfect's going to be awfully hard to beat, though. She's a big, strong filly. She's a bit like Plymouth Chubb. She looks a year older than the rest of them, and I think mentally she's a bit full of herself, and I don't think it'll worry her too much. So I find it hard to go past her.
There's a couple of little questions here, right? Playing up, you love playing up, yes?
Yeah.
Disappointed by last week, or can bounce back and win this?
No, I wasn't disappointed at all. I don't think the race was sort of run to suit. There was a few weird things going on, and Sergio's Rocket sort of was over racing a little bit. So no, it definitely wasn't disappointed. I think she's another one that she led, used her gate speed in the Gold, and you know, she didn't race well at all. So I don't think she's one you can use early. I think if the heat's on and she's nearabouts, she'll be running home strong.
And Clayton, Sergio's Rocket, I think there's an opinion now that she might be uncontrollable, but that's not the case according to you.
No, I think Sal will have her under control pretty well, and I think she's been over racing the last couple, but I think you won't find she'll pull like that Saturday night.
You're backing sound. You're like nothing will talk you out of Sounds Perfect.
No, I don't
Top.
think so. Nothing I've heard here anyway, and pretty keen. I've made her one of my best of the night. I just for some reason I went back and watched the replays, and her heat run was just phenomenal for a horse, particularly on debut. And had I have seen that or it actually sunk in, I would have had a good go at her in the semi, but I just didn't see it. So I've gone back and done the replays.
You message me anytime you want. I'm available.
That's right.
I'm a friendly guy.
I know. You gave it a good spruik, but I was just so impressed with the way that she's done it both ways. She stepped back and looped them and beaten them comfortably, and also she just had no right to finish that close to them in the heat. So I'm not really that fussed where she lobs in the run. I just think she'll win. I'll take $3 and best of the night.
Yep. Couldn't have done worse than me last week. Anyway, we move forward from that. Beautiful environment here. It's a special edition of Burning Questions. Breeders' Crown Finals on Saturday night at Tabcorp Park, Melton. Final question, my old mate Maajida. She's got the draw. She pretty much never loses when she's in front, Clayton. She's got the pole marking early. Will she be leading and will she be winning?
I think she definitely can win this week. I've been a little bit disappointed, probably because she's been having so many hard runs, and she probably hasn't looked like the old Maajida where she sort of, before she could, in her own age group, sit parked and dominate them. But I think she's in the perfect position. I'm sure she'll hold up early. I'm not sure what will happen like mid-race. Like, I'm sure if Ants gets going on, Amazing Dream, Techie's pushes forward. You've seen the way Cam likes to drive him. I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of speed on.
Now you love young Cam, don't you?
Yeah.
And we've already talked about an arm wrestle between the two of us. You've marked yourself what, $4, $10?
Yeah. I said this will be the next burning question.
I'll get you wound up about Cam
Where am I in the
after
market?
that drive.
Do I sort of figure in the market at all? I'm not.
We've seen you lifting the couch.
You can be a practice run for both of us if you want. And then we'll send you off to the hospital and then we'll go at it. Maajida, Techie's Angel's got really good gate speed. Is there any chance she might just be too fast at the start for Maajida and get the top?
Well, there is a chance. She's very quick, and that's the sort of style of racing that Cam likes to drive. So I do like Maajida, though. I think it's about her time to win a race, and she's been terribly unlucky, and the draws just sort of haven't helped her. So fingers crossed she gets the job done.
She went. It's hard to judge in a race like that, isn't it? I mean, she made up really good late ground, but was never put into the race.
Yeah.
He looked after her last week, to be honest, because the way the race was run, you were going to give her a hard run if you were trying to go at the half or anything like that. And you know yourself, when you draw out the back over them mile, like she tried to push through at Ballarat and she ended up having a tough run. They run a real strong middle section, and you know we looked after her a little bit last week.
There was no split you can make a move, is there?
No. So I'm sure she'll bounce back this
week. Maajida, gate 1. I think she's been beaten once maybe when she's led in her career.
I don't mean to harp on this all the time, but she was one of the 5 horses that broke the 54 coming home, so she went good. She'll find the pegs for I think the first time this preparation. She's been racing out, in the running line the whole way through. That makes a huge difference to any horse. So, going to be very hard to beat. I just maybe a bit like you. Maybe she's a bit like Ladies in Red. Maybe just 5% off her best, and I think Amazing Dream's right up there with her best. So, Amazing Dream for me, and I reckon that'll sit pretty well with you, Bon.
Do you ever go for a swim in the water? Like, does any humans ever get in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might jump in later. Yeah. It's a beautiful day here. It's not freezing cold at Ballarat like normal. I can rip it off.
Amazing Dream. You're big, aren't you?
Good segue. Best of the night. Amazing Dream is my best of the night. I hate to come here and get the hospitality of Emma and Clayton and go with Amazing Dream, but honestly,
they've only got 45 horses to pick from.
I was half potting her last week. I nearly thought that was apart from the Kilmore Cup win 3 wide no cover. That's a phenomenal run by Amazing Dream. I think the step up to 2240, bit of early speed. I think a couple of those John Yeoman's horses might even have a crack early. I think there'll be enough speed for Amazing Dream to win. Price isn't there anymore, unfortunately. Your best of the night?
I'm going to go with Sounds Perfect, just ahead of Beyond Delight. So I'm looking after the locals.
You're supporting us.
Yeah.
Now that you've released the fly from your mouth, Em, what's your best of the night?
Beyond Delight.
Nice. Yours, Clayton?
Just a bit touchy.
So you'll give me a percentage
trotter.
out from 1 to 100 that she'll do everything right.
Oh, 90.
Well, it should be about
I
a
heard
dollar.
what he said when he walked in. It was a bit more colourful than that, but it was basically that she'll win.
Yeah,
With a few other words thrown
that's how
in.
it works off air, mate. Thank you very much, Clayton and Emma.
Thank you.
Really appreciate the hospitality and for bringing us out here. It's an amazing complex. We'll go for a walk around now. Well done, Top.
Enjoyed it. Thanks, guys.
You
Thanks
need
for
to give me
coming
a
down
lift
my
back
way.
to the
too.
station, yeah.
Yeah,
all
I will.
good.
I'll drive.
And to Paul Campbell, who's brought this magnificent equipment across and set it up perfectly so that we can broadcast something very special for Burning Questions heading into the richest race night in Australasian harness racing. That's been Burning Questions for this week. If we win, we'll be back next week. If not, we're cancelling the show.